I know, and I was trying to find it.
Michael, are we ready on the online thing?
Yeah, just turn it on.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the May 9th Planning and Zoning Commission hearing for Jefferson County. I'm Ken Lowry, your chairman today, and we're going to start off with a few housekeeping notes. So the Planning and Zoning Commission is charged with regulating the subdivision of property in unincorporated areas of Jefferson County. If you're here today for that, you'll be given a decision of the commission today regarding any requests. And note that any subdivision approved today is not complete. In order to be complete, the final plat must be recorded in the office of the judge of probate. The county staff will be coordinating with the surveyors of today's approved plats to prepare the approved plats for recording. So the Planning and Zoning Commission is also charged with evaluating requests for rezoning property and advising the county commission for their final determination. All decisions made by the Planning and Zoning Commission regarding zoning cases are advisory only. That means the final determination or approval or denial is made by the Jefferson County Commission in a subsequent public hearing. I'd ask if you have cell phones or anything that makes noise on you, if you'd put it on silent mode so as not to disturb the hearing today, and I appreciate that. And will the clerk call roll for today, please?
Neil Lowry.
Here.
Mark Sealer.
Here.
Cynthia Dahlman. Here. Christy Forsythe.
Here.
Joseph Andrews. Present. Joel Blankenship.
Here.
Kenneth Cush.
Here.
Georgia O'Neill.
Here.
Trudy Strain.
Here.
Mike Thomas. Kennedy Murray.
All right. Thank you very much. So I would like to ask for a motion regarding the reading of the meeting minutes for the April 11th public hearing.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to approve the minutes.
All right. I have a motion to approve the minutes. Second. To have a second. All right. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. Thank you. All right. So first on the agenda today, we'll hear subdivision cases. The staff will present the case to the commission, and then we'll call for opposition. And if the applicant or their representative may be asked to come forward to the podium and answer any questions. One thing, if you're going to come up to the podium, I have to make this speech every time. For record keeping and minutes, we need you to give us your name and your address when you speak, please. We'll start off with our first subdivision case, S240027.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is a proposed resurvey to split a lot of record into two lots of record for residential use. This is the Lot 2 of Godsey's addition to Bob Glenn Road, Lot 2. It was approved by Planning and Zoning Commission of last August. Staff has completed a review. This complies with all our zoning regulations. There's no anticipated road access or traffic operation issues. No right-of-way dedication will be required. No floodplain, and again, there is no sewer available to this property, so the Department of Health will have to sign the final plat and approve the on-site septic. Staff would recommend approval for the subdivision with an exception to the subdivision regulations to allow Lot 2A to be recorded with no road frontage.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Is the representative present? Thank you. Any opposition to this subdivision case? All right, hearing none. Any questions from the commissioners? Hearing none, may I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S240027 with an exception to the subdivision regulations to allow Lot 2A to be recorded with no road frontage.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. And after your subdivision case has been heard, if you'd like to, you can exit out the door, or you're welcome to stay for the rest of the time. So our next subdivision case is S240029.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is a proposed subdivision to convey an acreage tract into one lot of record for residential and agricultural use. This is at 3995 Lindsay Loop Road. This is part of a larger acreage tract that was not properly subdivided years ago. So this is a corrective plat here, one lot. Does comply with all our A1 zoning requirements. No traffic issues here. Right-of-way dedication will be required on Lindsay Loop Road, 25 foot from the center line. We're adjacent to the property. There's no floodplain on this, and again, there's no sewer, so the Department of Health will have to approve the on-site septic system and sign the final plat. Staff recommends approval for this one-lot subdivision.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Applicant present? All right. Anyone in opposition to the subdivision case?
More of a question.
Okay. Plat, come up to the podium, name, address, and ask, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Griselle. I live at 4039 Lindsay Loop Road, which is, if you look just right there in the corner of it, we had no notification of this going on. We had no signage up or anything like that. Is this one lot, one house, or are we talking about a small subdivision?
We can answer that. Was that your basic?
Yes, sir. We have no idea what's going on.
Okay. All right.
43rd. See, okay, go up, left, right there. That's my house. And I understand the 500 foot.
It's only adjacent. You have to be touching it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm just still curious to know if we're having one house or multiple houses.
So, Mr. Martin can answer that for you.
The zoning's not changing. This is one lot, so it would be the same as any other one lot with A1 zoning. So single-family residence
Okay.
would be the maximum stick-built. Obviously, that's mobile homes for family, but it's the same zoning type as. But it's the surrounding land use is all agriculture, so it would be the same.
Okay, so no subdivision per se.
Yeah. So there's always there's sometimes confusion when we say it's a subdivision case. It's just division of land.
Okay,
It doesn't mean a subdivision is going in. It's just subdivision of the land.
thank you.
And it's a large tract, as Mr. Martin said. It's never been platted before, and it's being recorded now. Okay. Thank you. Were there any other questions or comments? All right. And the applicant was not here, correct? All right. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? All right. If not, may I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S240029.
Second.
All right. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. Our next subdivision case today is S240030.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is a resurvey. Well, excuse me, this is a subdivision to put two parcels into two lots of record. It was split improperly a number of years ago for mortgage purposes for an existing residences there. So this subdivision is to divide it properly into two lots of record. This is A1 zoning as such. The minimum lot size is 1 acre. The proposed lot number 1 is smaller than the 1 acre. However, a variance was approved by the Board of Zoning Adjustment to have less than 1 acre for that lot. So there will be no issues in terms of zoning. There's no anticipated road access issues, no right-of-way addition will need to be added for this property. There's no floodplain, and there's no sewer, so the Department of Health will have to approve the on-site septic system. Staff does recommend approval for this 2-lot subdivision.
Okay, thank you. Is the applicant present?
Representative.
All right, Representative Craig, thank you. Any opposition to this subdivision case?
But I have some questions.
Well, please step up, give us your name and address, and ask your questions.
My name is Vivian Diggins.
Would you say your last name again?
Diggins,
Thank you.
and I have,
Oh,
the
I'm so-
address is 1041 Love Street in Hueytown. But I have 83.67 acres that's right there in that area. So I was trying to get the right understanding of what, because it said it was rezoning from agriculture to
It's not a reason.
Okay.
It's only dealing with the actual boundaries of the land.
Okay.
So this parcel is already zoned agricultural.
Okay.
And we're not changing the zoning.
Okay.
The lots are being divided. You can see on the drawing up here. So it's a,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because when I got my letter and everything, I wanted to make sure that I was present to see what was actually going on, because I had a lot that was going on. And I know that that lake was on top of the hill, and we have planning on homes on the top of that hill, right at that lake, so I just wanted to make sure.
okay. So do we answer all your questions?
Yes.
All right, great. All right, thank you. Any other opposition or questions on this subdivision case today? Any questions from the commissioners? All right, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S240030.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. Our next subdivision case is S240031.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is at 9630 Thermal Road, Warrior, Alabama. This is a proposed subdivision to split existing acreage tract into 3 lots of record for residential and agricultural use. As you can see here, this property is on both sides of Thermal Road. These lots all comply with our zoning requirements. There's no anticipated traffic operation issues here. Right-of-way dedication will be required for Thermal Road, both sides, 25 foot from the center line. We're adjacent to the property. There's no floodplain, and again, no sewer here, so the Department of Health will have to approve the on-site septic system and sign the final plat. Staff does recommend approval for this 3-lot subdivision.
Okay, thank you. Is the applicant or representative here?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Is there any opposition to the subdivision case? All right, hearing none. Any questions from the commissioners? All right. May I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S240031.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. Our next subdivision case is S240032. Mr. Martin.
Yes, sir. This property is at 1301 Willow Court, Pleasant Grove. The purpose of this subdivision is to resurvey 3 existing lots of record into 1 lot for residential use. You can see here there's lot 5, 6, and 7 there, and these are the dotted lines of the old lot lines. This is from a W.M. Willoughby survey, which was recorded in 1941. So this is an old plat, somewhat of a cleanup job for an existing structure, residence that's there now. There's no anticipated road access issues here. Right-of-way dedication will be required for Willow Court and Willow Circle, 25 foot from the center line of both of those roads. There's no floodplain, and again, there's on-site septic will have to be used. There's no sewer available here. So the Department of Health will have to approve that and sign the final plat. Staff recommends approval for this 1-lot resurvey.
All right, thank you. Is the representative or applicant here for this case? All right, thank you. Any opposition? Any questions from the commissioners? May I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S240032.
Second.
All right, I have a motion, a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. So we have on the agenda today case S240033. That one is going to be heard concurrent with a rezoning case Z240018. So we're going to move down the agenda to S240035. Mr. Martin.
Yes, sir. This property is 2901 Mayfield Road. The purpose of this subdivision is to divide one acreage tract into two lots of record for residential and agricultural use. It does comply with all A1 zoning requirements. No anticipated road access issues here. Right-of-way dedication will be required from Mayfield Road, 25 foot from center line. We're adjacent to the property. No floodplain on this property, and again, no sewer available here, so the Department of Health will have to approve the on-site septic system, sign the final plat. Staff does recommend approval for this two-lot subdivision.
All right, thank you. Is the applicant or representative present? All right, any opposition to this case? Any questions from the commissioners? May I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S240035.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Our next subdivision case is S240036. Mr. Martin.
Yes, sir. The purpose of the subdivision is to resurvey two lots of record into two lots of into two lots for residential use and the two common areas there in the Newfound Ridge subdivision. This subdivision was recently platted. You can see here it's being constructed. It's actually, this construction has been completed and it has been platted. It was approved by Planning and Zoning in 22. This is common area D and common area C. This is what's being proposed. Essentially, there's some monument signs that need to be severed from these lots of record so they can be maintained by the existing HOA for the subdivision. So this does comply with the R7 zoning requirements. No issues with the PUD that was done on this property. No traffic or access issues here. No additional right-of-ways required. No floodplain. And the sanitary sewer is available on this property. As such, the Environmental Services Department will have to sign this final plat. Other than that, the staff does recommend approval for this resurvey.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Martin. Is our applicant here? All right, thank you. Any opposition to this subdivision case? All right. Any questions from the commissioners? May I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S240036.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. All right, so that concludes the agenda for the subdivision cases, minus the one that we talked about that will be heard with concurrently with the zoning case. So I'm going to modify the agenda a little bit. We have 3 cases that have opposition today, so I'm going to move those to the end of the agenda. So you know the numbers, that's Z240010 and Z240009. I know they're not out of order. And Z240020. So we're first going to hear zoning case Z240015. And I surprised Mr. Brown. He didn't know I was going to do that. So he's going to have to queue up number 15 for us. Mr. Brown, before you go, I forgot to read some of my remarks that I need to make about zoning cases. Just so you know, as we go into these, the staff's going to present this case to the board, and then I'll call for opposition, and The applicant or the representative for the case may be asked to come forward to the podium and answer any questions. We allow 15 minutes maximum for each side to discuss a zoning case, so keep that in mind as we go through these if we have any opposition. And we just want to remind everybody that the Planning and Zoning Commission only makes recommendations on zoning cases. The Jefferson County Commission makes the final decision. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Brown, go ahead.
Yes, sir. This is case Z2415. The applicant is requesting rezoning from agricultural to industrial to allow a service and storage lot for utility trailers at the location 1114 Burks Lane in the Mount Olive area. The county's future land use plan identifies this property for general transition or mixed use. The property is currently vacant. And so if you're looking at the aerial here, it's surrounded by, to the north, there's a single-family dwelling. To the east, there's also a single-family dwelling. In the northeast corner, there are mobile homes. To the south, there's a business, which is called Moon Automotive. And then to the west is unlimited terrain on off-road vehicles, which would be associated with this lot. This lot would be an extension, actually, of unlimited terrain on off-road vehicles, which is to the west of the expansion lot. The county's zoning map identifies the property for presently as agricultural, and then the lot to the west, the lot that's associated with this expansion lot is zoned industrial. The single-family dwelling to the east is within the R4 zone. To the north and to the south, the property is zoned agricultural. This is the survey of the property, which shows you the existing business to the west again, and then the expansion lot is to the east. You have Cagle Drive to the north, Mount Olive Road to the west, and then Burks Lane to the south. There's a gravel driveway along the east side of the property. This was what was submitted as the applicant's conceptual site development plan. So they're proposing also a building in the middle of the lot, and surrounding that building would be the location of storage for the utility trailers. And this is what it looks like today. So this is your existing business, unlimited terrain on off-road vehicle. And the expansion lot is, if you follow that red arrow, is to the rear of the existing business. I'll just let you take that in for a second. Okay. Staff's summary recommendation is as follows. The 0.5 acre lot is proposed to be used for outdoor storage of trailers. This lot will be joined with the adjacent lot to the west and enclosed by a fence. Both lots are proposed to be designated as industrial for the existing unlimited terrain on off-road vehicle business. The AADT for Mount Olive, annual average daily traffic, for Mount Olive Road near Burks Lane intersection is 3,474. Burks Lane is a 2-lane paved local road. The proposed use is compatible with the character of the general surrounding area. The development proposal is consistent with the county's long-range future land use plan. Designation of general transition or mixed use. Staff recommends approval with subject to one condition, and that condition is installation of a 6-foot privacy fence to the west, separating the proposed I-1 service and storage use from the existing R4 zone district. There is a buffer requirement of, I believe, 15 feet, which would be required between uses. So in addition to that, we're also proposing the addition of a 6-foot privacy fence. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Is our applicant, Mr. Hayes, here? Mr. Hayes, would you like to add anything to Mr. Brown's presentation? No, sir. All right, thank you. Is there any opposition to this rezoning case? Any questions from the commissioners for the applicant? All right, may I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval for Z240015 with the exception of an installation of a 6-foot privacy fence to the west, separating the proposed I-1 service and storage use from the existing R4 zone district.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you. So our next zoning case is Z240016.
Yes, sir. This property is located at 8110 Bluff Ridge Road in the Bessemer area. The applicant is requesting to rezone this property from institutional 1 to A1 for residential use. This lot is Lot 1. It was part of a subdivision case that was approved in December by the Planning and Zoning Commission. The lot is currently adjacent to A1 zone district on 3 sides. The lot size is 0.69 acres, which is less than the minimum required 1 acre. The Board of Zoning Adjustment approved that size for the lot. The county land use plans is consistent with that, and staff recommends approval. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Is the applicant or representative present? You have anything you'd like to add to the presentation? All right, thank you. Any opposition to this zoning case? Any questions from the commissioners? All right, may I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval for Z240016.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. Our next zoning case is Z240018. Ms. Hughes, please.
Yes, sir. This rezoning actually consists of 2 parcels. One is located at 5980 Moore Cemetery Road, and the other is 5911 Old Tuscaloosa Highway. This is part of a resurvey. We have 2 lots here. Lot 1A in the dark green, which is currently zoned institutional, and then we have proposed Lot 1B, which is the light green, that's proposed A1 zone district. And what's actually going on here, this little piece of property here is currently zoned A1 will be a part in the new proposed Lot 1A. It will be part of that lot, and we're requesting that this lot parcel, that portion of the property be rezoned institutional so that we don't have split zoning. And then we have a little strip, let's see, right here. This is currently zoned institutional, and this will be a part of the Lot 1B. So the applicant's requesting that this is rezoned to A1. It's consistent with the land use plan, and the purpose of the rezoning actually is the extension with the Lot 1A is for expansion of the church parking lot, and the small strip there, which is for 1B, is going to be used for access to Lot 1B. It's consistent with the county's land use plan. Staff recommends approval.
All right, thank you, Ms. Hughes. Is the applicant present? All right, thank you. Any opposition to this rezoning case? Any questions from the commissioners? All right, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I'd recommend approval for Z240018.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, our next case is a subdivision case. This is combined with the zoning case I mentioned earlier. So we're now going to hear subdivision S240033. Mr. Martin.
Yes, sir. This is the same property as the previously approved rezoning case. Basically, the subdivision is the genesis for the rezoning. The properties that are adjacent to each other are switching properties, more or less. Lot 1A right here, which is currently owned by the church, will obtain this portion that is currently Lot 1B, and then vice versa. The access point for Lot 1B will be added, which is currently zoned, which is now going to be zoned A1, will be joined to Lot 1B there. This does, it meets all our zone requirements. There is no additional right-of-way dedication here required. There's no anticipated road access issues with this. There is flood zone on one of these properties on Lot 1A. So any permits that are pulled on there for any kind of construction, they'll have to get a floodplain development permit. And there is no public sanitary sewer available, so the Department of Health will have to approve the on-site septic systems for both of these lots. Staff does recommend approval for this resurvey.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Is there any opposition to this rezoning case? All right, may I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S240033.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. So we're back to zoning cases again. So this next one is Z240019, and Mr. Brown.
Give me just a minute. right. So, Mr. Chairman, this is case Z2419, as you mentioned. The rezoning request is from agricultural to commercial to allow a heating and air office warehouse at 1661 Arkadelphia Road in the Warrior area. And so this property is within Census Tract 114.02, Block Group 2. It's just across from the Blount County line. Arkadelphia Road connects Jefferson County to Blount County. The total population within this block group and census tract is 1,364 persons. The AADT, or annual average daily traffic count for Arkadelphia Road leading to the Blount County line, is 2,424 traffic counts. County's future land use plan identifies this property for agricultural use. The property is currently vacant, although the existing land use map shows agricultural. Here's an aerial which justifies the vacancy of the lot. Across the street from this lot, by the way, is a single-family residence. The county zoning map identifies the property for A1 agricultural. And this is what the lot looks like at street level. The applicant submitted this conceptual site development plan, and what you have here is a 6,600 square foot building, 14 off-street parking spaces, a stormwater detention pond, an area that is reserved for sewer disposal. Staff's summary recommendation is as follows. This is an upzoning case. Presently, the site, again, is vacant and undeveloped. Proposes a 6,600 square foot heating and air office warehouse building on 1.01 acres. The building will consist of approximately 4 small offices for employees, and the remainder of the building will be used as a warehouse for storage of equipment and materials related to the business. No outside storage will occur on the property. The subject property is in Census Tract 114.02, Block Group 2, which has a total population of 1,364 persons near the Blount County line. The average annual daily traffic count along Arkadelphia, again, at the Dogwood Trail intersection is 2,424, which is minimal for this road. Staff recommends approval based upon these findings. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brown. Is the applicant here? You have anything you'd like to add to Mr. Brown's presentation? Okay. Is there any opposition to this rezoning case? So, applicant, I have a question. I'm going to see if the staff, would you mind coming to the podium, give us name, address, and...
Hey, I'm the applicant's representative, Logan Gandy, 8390 Dawes Road, Morris, Alabama, 35116. The applicant is the owner. He is here as well.
Okay.
If he needs to answer.
Okay. So my question was, I've seen your site plan drawing, and could you tell us about the style of your proposed building? Is it just going to be a metal Butler building, 1 level, 2 level?
I'm going to deflect to him and let him answer that.
Okay.
Since he will
So
be doing
you know the drill. Name, address first, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Joseph Liston. I'm the owner. That's going to be a prefab metal structure.
And it's 1 level?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Hang on before you leave. Any other questions from the commissioners?
He just needs to give his address for the record.
Oh, sorry. Address too, please, for the record.
Of this site.
No, your resident.
1192 Sardis Road, Gardendale.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Any other questions from the commissioners? All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right.
8390 Dawes Road in Morris, 35116.
All right. Having no other questions, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval for Z240019.
Second.
All right. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. Motion passes. Okay, we're going to go back to our originally scheduled agenda today. We're going to start with a carryover zoning case from last meeting, Z240010. Mr. Brown, proceed, please, sir.
You ready? Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, as you mentioned, this is case Z240010. The applicant's requesting rezoning to remove split zoning A194 and rezone the property to the I-1 Industrial Zone District to allow a truck parking operation at 2301 Pawnee Village Road. This property is within the Census Tract 119.01, Block Group 2. Pawnee Village Road connects Birmingham to Jefferson County to Fultondale. It's considered to be a two-lane local road. The total population for this census tract and block group is 846 persons. There were 534 traffic counts found on Pawnee Village Road. Is that right, Mr. Traffic Engineer? Was it 534? 540. And at this intersection, the Pinson Valley Parkway, Pawnee Village Road intersection, the traffic counts were 35,186. The county's future land use plan identifies this property as industrial. And so here, the existing land use map, what this tells you is that on the other side of Pawnee Village Road, across from the subject property, there are 5 single-family residences within the agricultural zone district. However, along Pawnee Village Road to the south, you have industrial uses. You have Star Insulation, you have Alabama Scale, you also have Dixie Trucking Company. This property is within the 5 Mile Creek watershed. Evidence of that is Pawnee Reservoir and Barton Branch Stream. And if this stream is determined to be jurisdictional, then the applicant will need to apply for an Army Corps of Engineer permit. Current zoning map, it shows you that there are 2 zoning classifications on this property, as previously mentioned, agricultural as well as I-4 industrial. So to the east and south of this property is property zone industrial. However, to the north and to the west, the property zone agricultural. This is the applicant's conceptual site development plan that was submitted. And what it shows you here is an office trailer, mechanic shop, 18-wheeler parking area. There would only be one point of ingress and egress, and that would be onto Pawnee Village Road, obviously. And county public sewer is not available to this site, so a private septic system is proposed. The staff summary and recommendation is as follows. This is a repeat of what's already been mentioned. The subject property is vacant, undeveloped, and overgrown. The applicant proposes to remove split zoning and develop the site as a parking area for 18-wheeler trucks. Mechanic shop, office building, and fence enclosure are also proposed long-term. Subject property is consistent with the long-range future land use county map, which has a designation of industrial. Subject property is also contiguous to industrial zoning. The development proposal is in character with the general land uses in the area. Star Insulation, Alabama Scale, Dixie Trucking are all situated along Pawnee Village Road to the south of the subject property. It is also within the 5 Mile Creek watershed with the possibility of jurisdictional wetlands impacting the site. Staff recommends approval subject to the following. Number 1, provide a natural, undisturbed 25-foot buffer on both sides of Barton Branch Stream to protect water quality within the 5 Mile Creek watershed. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Brown. Before I ask for opposition and others, just to let everybody know there's some new people here. So this is a carryover case from last month. We had a lot of questions last month, and the applicant's representative wasn't able to answer them, so they requested to carry this over. I know there's a lot of people here for opposition. I made you one commitment. I kept my list of questions from last time, so I've got those, and I'll remind you that we've got 15 minutes for opposition and 50 minutes for applicant to answer questions during the public hearing. So I'm going to ask the applicant first. Are you here? Okay. Do you have support today?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right. Good. All right. Do you want to add anything else to Mr. Brown's presentation before we call for opposition? Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. So I'll call for opposition now and step to the podium, name and address.
Everybody stand up that's here with us. Mrs.
Okay, so I recognize there's almost half the room is with you. So name and address to start, and
Sue Duke, and I live on Pawnee Village Road, 2428 Pawnee Village Road. And I would like at this time to have David Smith and Lieutenant from Fultondale come up. And I'd like for the others that are speaking, Dr. Connie.
so if you're speaking, we're going to need your name and address before you start, please, for the
All right,
record.
I'm Lieutenant Kevin Studevin with Fultondale Police Department, 1210 Walker's Chapel Road, Fultondale, 35068. I was recently made aware of this request to rezone the property. This property is not located in Fultondale, but it will greatly affect the safety of people traveling down Carson Road in Fultondale. We're very concerned about this. Quite frankly, it's a great business idea, but a horrible location. Horrible location. Couldn't pick a worse location. It's our understanding that Indian Valley will be open for commercial truck traffic if this occurs, and that will be a disaster. The intersection of Carson Road and Indian Valley, coming from Center Point, from Carson Road coming from Center Point in Indian Valley, there's a blind spot there. Even if a light is put there, it will be a very dangerous intersection. Carson Road is already one of the most dangerous roads in Jefferson County. We have more accidents every year on Carson Road than any other road in Fultondale. We also have more traffic fatalities on Carson Road than any other road. Additionally, I'm very concerned about the environmental dangers of having a commercial truck repair and storage lot next to a water reservoir. If approved, this will be a recipe for disaster. Traffic accidents and traffic fatalities will increase greatly on Carson Road. But our number one concern is our children. We have Fultondale High School right off of Carson Road. They have 688 students. They run roughly 11 buses. They're also building an IB school there now. There'll be 300 more kids in the area after the IB school is built. There'll be 5 more buses, according to Dr. Gosselin, that will run routes up and down Carson. I'm also very personally concerned about, the environmental dangers, having this commercial truck place next to a water reservoir. There will be fuel runoff. There will be diesel fuel. There will be oil. There will be hazardous substances. It's my understanding that most of these locations have mobile wash units that come out to wash the trucks for the truck drivers. If that occurs, it's going to accelerate the contamination of the water reservoir. Thanks. So quite simply, we oppose this. We believe it will have disastrous consequences if this is allowed to go through. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is David Smith. I live at 2442 Dakota Drive in the Pawnee community, which is a residential community, by the way. I'd like to, I am the retired chief of police at Fultondale after almost 40 years. About a year and a half ago, and Sue brought me this proposal. And right off the bat, it jumped off to me about the safety of our community. Looking at what's been proposed, we're looking at now we've had a border around our community thanks to Birmingham and the Jefferson County Commission and you guys that was given to us to keep trucks out of our community. Now we've embraced Camtech, Magna, Sterilite, all these other factories, but they're across the border, across railroad tracks from us. Those are pictures that I've taken of our residential roads there, which I know you've been told that they fit the county's proposed industrial development, but if you come out and look at our neighborhood, the structure of our roads, the curves, the steepness of getting industrial traffic in there, It'd be just a disaster. Not only would these trucks come into our neighborhood, they're going to be hauling gasoline tankers, chemical tankers, toxic dry chemicals. They're going to be overloaded, heavily loaded, and oversized loads on already narrow roads. Last meeting I came to, Chairman, I didn't really know what a truck park was. I knew what a truck stop is from my years in law enforcement. So I went up the highway and I took some pictures of a truck park less than 2 miles from our neighborhood. And those pictures represent what this proposal is going to be. Those pictures actually show trucks parked there that are gasoline tankers, those that are loaded with chemicals, waiting to be dispatched, and also trucks that are in repair. They were pressure washed them. And then if you go to the back of the lot, there's piles of old truck tires, there's oil cans, there's trash, there's everything else. And to my surprise, I learned that 2 of these trucks, people were actually in them. They were spending the weekend there. One guy didn't like me taking pictures of his truck, but I explained to him what I was doing, and he said, oh, yeah. He said, I'm from Florida. I'll come up here and drop a load off. I'll stay here over the weekend and then pick up my load next week. And there's several of those in this lot. So you have people actually staying there over the weekend. And we all know as a law enforcement officer, if you ask any police officer or chief around the country what a truck stop is and what it brings to your community, it brings crime, it brings drugs, it brings, be honest with you, we're all adults here, it brings prostitution. And that's what eventually, and this park that you're looking at here is less than 2 acres. They're proposing almost 19 acres of this. And this is on Highway 79, this one I looked at, which is okay. It's an industrial area. This is going to be in our residential neighborhood. These trucks are going to be coming past our front doors, past our kids, past our driveways, past the people that are in the neighborhood out walking. We have a lot of older people that get out and walk. These heavily industrialized trucks with chemicals are going to be driving right past our front doors. So I would like to vote for no to keep it agriculture. Bring us some proposals to grow our neighborhood. We have a new high school there, IB school. We're trying to get the residential neighbors to bring proposals to sell property and to build new homes, build parks, stuff like that is friendly for our neighborhoods, and keep the industry across the buffer zone that was given us. And Dixie Trucking was brought up. That's across on the other side of the buffer zone. So Star Insulation is just an insulation company. They do not have industrial traffic coming into our neighborhood. It's just pickup trucks and stuff like that. So I would like to keep it agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is John Mays. I currently work with the Sheriff's Office. I'm Deputy Chief over Birmingham and Bessemer Patrol. I also have lived in Pawnee at 4420 Red Wing Lane for over 40 years. I turned in a letter at the last meeting, and it should be on file with you.
It is.
I'm currently responsible for the patrol. The problem we have with this map is currently Indian Valley off of Carson, all the way down to where it runs into Industrial, which goes toward Ketona, is a no truck route. Coming down Pawnee Village Road until you get to the railroad tracks is a no truck route. And the other company that Camtech is right there off Sterling. That is a big trucking company. All those trucks come in from 79 and cross the tracks and turn right and go toward Camtech. The problem I'm faced with is a lot of these truckers that want to slide through. They don't want to go all the way around on Carson to 79 and then come over several miles out of the way and come down in Pawnee Village. They come down Carson and turn right on Indian Valley and try to sneak about 2 miles east toward Pawnee Village Road and turn left and go down there across the tracks to those other trucking companies. Or they continue east all the way over to Industrial so they don't have to make the big loop. Then once they get to Industrial, that's a truck route. But all of Indian Valley is 2-lane, very narrow roads. I've had trucks, I'm going to say at least 30 times, to come down Pawnee Village Road, Red Wing off Pawnee Village Road, and try to make access at the bad curve in the hill past my residence. One did jackknife. They have to back out. We've issued numerous citations, and they just say, well, my GPS took me. The signs on the roads state, no 18-wheelers, no trucks. It's not a truck route, even on Indian Valley. We continue to cite these subjects when they come in off of Indian Valley. It's hard on patrol for me to leave a car over there. The traffic is awful. And like Fultondale said, we catch a lot of, and we help them on Carson and then north of Carson toward Jeff State. We do have a lot of fatalities. It's just going to add more trucks. And I can guarantee you, they'll say all day, oh, we'll come down 79 on the Pawnee Village and turn in. They won't. They're going to want to take and cut on that cut off and go down from Carson to Indian Valley and sneak in the back way. It's just going to cause wrecks and more danger to kids in that area. And this is we're just a small community of kids and people that live there, and industrials across the tracks. And Camtech has worked with us. They blocked their road off so we wouldn't get that extra trucks. They've helped us a lot. The trucks turn in there. So that's where we're at right now, and we're still having trucks sneak across off Carson to go to industrial. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. So I just want to make a remark. We are keeping time over here, so we've got about 3 minutes left for remarks. So
I'll be really quick. I'm Dr. Connie Swilley, 4430 Red Wing Lane. I also own 4444 Red Wing Lane. My family's been in the neighborhood for 100 years. I have lots of other family members in this small-knit community. I'm speaking to you of the health risk of this facility. As some of this, as you've heard before, but just to be succinct, there's a lot of noise on a 24-hour basis due to jake brakes from big trucks, as well as trucks going in the reverse gear, noise from mechanic working on the trucks and the equipment that they use. Maintenance of the trucks, including pressure washing, results in leakage of chemicals into the ground, including chemical solutions that they use to clean. Air quality is a health risk. It would be diminished from exhaust fumes as well as dust stirred up to the gravel roads, and this is going to be a large gravel lot. Up to 200 trucks could be parked in this facility. I've even heard numbers of 300 trucks could be parked in this facility. Pollution from old discarded tires and oil, as well as garbage cans overflowing from garbage, pose health risk. Bright lights covering 18 acres would disrupt both our local residents and wildlife. There are health risks related to trucks loaded with radioactive and flammable materials. Trust rest areas and truck stops are known as hubs for potential sex trafficking that would affect the health of our young residents in our small community. And there is no amount of buffer that would prevent these health risks. Thank you.
Yep, we have a few more minutes.
Commissioners, Justin McKenzie. I'm the fire chief of the city of Fultondale, 512 Park Lane, Fultondale 35068. I'm also the vice chair of the local emergency planning committee and the president of the Central Alabama Fire Chiefs. I've run 80% of the deaths they just talked about since 2009. Because of this, in 2018, we had the barrier put up, which they were talking about, that prevents the trucks from coming to Pawnee onto Carson Road. And last year, the county put financial money into repaving, widening, putting rumble strips down, and markers down Carson Road. Since that paving has been done and the limitation of the truck traffic from Indian Valley on the Carson Road, we have had 0 deaths. And once you've been out there to run these wrecks, it's something you will remember. So on a safety standpoint, we are against adding any additional traffic onto Indian Valley, onto Carson Road, which we have to respond to. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Sure, you can bear last.
I saw that my name is Sandra Mickle. I'm at 2320 Hewitt Drive. I also have property within 500 feet at 2301 Hewitt Drive. But I saw that you had the 5-mile watershed that is on this property. I contacted the EPA, which Jeffrey Drummond and Jennifer Groomfield failed. They have not had a chance to get back with me yet. But the 5 Mile Creek, the watershed, is in line with the Land and Water Trust from Turkey Creek Preserve Center. It runs 7.6 miles south-southwest, and a feeder runs into this property, and there are 7 endangered species at the Turkey Creek Reserve. 3 are the vermilion darterfish, the watercress darterfish, and the rush darterfish. They are found nowhere else in the world but Turkey Creek Landfill. And it runs into the 5 Mile watershed. I've done a lot of research on it. So the feeders, it's possible that the diesel fuel and all the runoff and the spill could affect that one endangered species that is found nowhere else in the world but possibly running into this 5 Mile watershed. So I would like to oppose it, and I'd like to ask that we get more time to get with EPA on this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so thank y'all for your remarks. We set 16 minutes, so I appreciate y'all giving us your thoughts and your questions. So the applicant and representative, would y'all like to address the remarks? And if you haven't cut on, give us your name and address first, and then get into things.
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Brandon Woods. My address is 7424 Parkway Drive, Leeds, Alabama. But basically, like I say, what we're trying to do is it won't be so much like, because we're a leasing company. We're Crum Leasing, so most of our trailers will be leased out, so it wouldn't be so much traffic going in and out because, like I say, that's our thing. We have trailers that we lease out, so most of them are gone. And as far as, like they saying, cleaning them and stuff like that, we really don't have too much to do on that part because once we lease them out, that's on the driver. And we want to not have too many trucks, like far as like different people like sleeping and stuff on the land and stuff like that. I said we'll have an office there and a few of our trailers. So that would be the main thing we would have. So it wouldn't really be too much problems how they really thinking it is. That's my main thing I had to say for it. I appreciate y'all.
Okay.
Y'all got any questions?
So I was going to ask next. Commissioners have some questions. Mr. Bishop.
All right, so first of all,
Okay.
you said you're a leasing company. Leasing what?
We leasing trailers, 53 van trailers and flatbed.
How many trailers are you planning to have in this facility?
Right now, we have 60, but we have 57 that's leased out already. So we got 3 trailers like this right now. But as we grow,
How many total trailers does your company currently have?
we have a total of 60 trailers right now.
Which are being leased to drivers.
Right.
Which then pick the trailers up from you.
Correct.
And then carry them out.
And
then when they're done leasing them, they return them.
And they lease between 6 months to a year.
Okay. So they're leasing the trailers by the year.
Correct.
But you're planning to expand your business.
Correct.
Okay. And how many trailers are you planning to have located on the facility at any given time?
We're trying to get up to like about 150.
Okay.
But like I said, with that being said, our main thing is we don't want to have trailers sitting. I mean, it's a lot of truck companies out here. There's a lot of drivers. There's a lot of stuff. That's how we get our stuff, by trucks moving. And like I say, far as we won't even have, like far as tankers and stuff like that, we don't even deal with tankers. We deal with 53-foot dry van and flatbeds. Mainly flatbeds carry like steel and stuff like that. But the thing is,
are they loading the trailers at your
no.
So
Our trailers are empty. Everything empty.
And then, how do you address the concerns of all these citizens, including fire chiefs, police departments, and everything, about the ability for increased traffic and the ability of your trucks and your trailers
not your trucks, other people's trucks. You're saying you're not responsible, but you're obviously bringing in trucks, and if you expand your business, that's 150 trucks a year times 2, bringing them in and out, more so than 6 months. So how are you addressing the increase in traffic going down what we're being told is an narrow road here?
Because like I say, as long as we, like I say, we in business with people that help us get our trailers leased out, and I know what they're saying as far as a lot of traffic, but it wouldn't be a lot of traffic. Even probably at the first beginning of a month, just say. Because mainly our trailers are gone between 6 months to a year. So long as they're gone, and as far as with traffic coming in, when a trailer come in, like when we leaving, they're going to be making the right turn to go over the tracks and to head out. And then plus, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
And then the thing is you got 6, 7 different truck companies right there. You know what I'm saying?
So you get the deepest on the road. They're on road frontage. You're the deepest on the road.
Right, because you got Bob Morton as you.
They're on road frontage.
Right, but we all the business that we're trying to do is on the left side as well. The lane is on the left side as you coming down, as you cross over the tracks. You know, like so you got the installation building right there. Then you have our business, and then you got the Birmingham Waterworks. That's right. Yeah, okay. Right down the side. We'll have.
You can be repairing your trailers on site.
No, sir.
Okay. Then why the repair shop?
We got a repair shop. It's right down the road. What's it called?
What you're saying is the repair shop that you're proposing on the plans is not intended to actually be in the facility.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. It's right down the road. Sir?
So it's very different than what you're telling us was planned for the facility. How many employees do you have?
Right now, we have probably like 4 of us that's into it right now.
And this is going to be your primary business facility?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how many parking spots are you going to have for trailers?
Well, once we really get the land, leveled off and things like that, that's when we'll go from there on that situation.
You don't have a current plan for how many parking spots you're going to have? Is this going to be a paved lot or a dirt lot? Gravel lot?
It's going to be probably more like a rock.
A gravel?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a lot of that.
That's all for you right now?
That's all for me right now, yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions from any of the other commissioners? All right. I'll take a few. I've got a few questions too. So, and I appreciate you being here today. We had a lot of questions last month. So, and I think Mr. Blankenship has answered some of them as we've gone through. So I think so. Mr. Brown, would you throw up the conceptual site plan for us real quick, please? There we go. Okay. So, Mr. Wood, so you can see from the drawing that we have here, it shows a couple things. It shows an office trailer with parking up front. Then it shows a mechanic shop and then 18-wheeler parking. So you can see why we're a little confused about things. So having trailers versus having 18-wheelers, two different things to us.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the tractor and the trailer to us. And then the mechanic shop, I think that's where Mr. Blankenship was coming from.
Okay.
So,
and the thing about the mechanic shop, though, we're trying to get the trailer things going. We haven't really been, we talked about it, but it's not really been our main goal. Our main goal is to get the trailers in and get the trailers out. If we can talk about that, that's probably like 10 years on down the line if we thinking about doing that. You're just been in our conversation. Our main goal is to have where we can get these trailers, have somewhere to put our trailers, you know what I'm saying? And, and have where people can come, like different drivers can come, pick up their trailers and be able to leave with them. The mechanic shop is not our main goal.
I understand, but as it is one of your future plans, so we had to consider that in our decision.
That have been in our conversation, but we know that, like I was just like, that's not our main thing. What we're trying to get into right now, You know, like I'm saying, that's probably, like I say, it's 10 years on down the line. If we even, consider doing that, it's just part of, we just trying to put us a good plan together. But right now, like I'm saying, we need somewhere for to put our trailer. Because that's the main problem that we're having right now. And we having to use our mechanic shop to store some of our trailers there. And we getting overcharged and we paying them when we can, get this land and store trailers.
Okay, all right, I understand. So thank you for answering that. So what's your idea? I think I heard Mr. Blankenship ask you about clearing. How much are you planning on clearing for your facility?
Oh, I got my engineer.
Okay, Mr. Jett, we need your name and address, please.
John Jett, 5800 Feldspar Way, Hoover, Alabama, 35244. A topo has not been completed at this time, and that determine the limits of the clearing will be discussed. I mean, that'll be kind of determined once we get the topo and the grading limits and everything to establish. That is conceptual, depending on the topography. You may have to be one row of trailer parking, depending on the steepness of the site. So that'll be assessed at that time.
Okay, all right, thank you. And since you're the engineer on this, so what about lighting? Do you have plans for that? Is it going to be well lit, or is it going to be daylight at night?
I'm sure I'll let him speak to that.
You said the time of the operation?
What? No, lighting. How
lighting.
Are you going to make it daylight at night, or is it going to be just regular lighting? What are you thinking?
Yeah, it's going to be regular lighting, because, like I say, plus we're not going to really be there like that at night either, because we're going to have work between 9 to 5. That's going to be our shift. We're not trying to be there working 24 hours like Action Dedicated. You got Cam Kick, those companies. I used to work for Action Dedicated. That's why I'm letting y'all know. We ran 24 hours, 12-hour shifts apiece. We had 2 shifts. As far as the Nate trucks go all up and down that road, I know. I worked for them.
Okay.
So, and as far as, like I say, with the light, like I said, we going to be mainly coming in around 9, between 9 and 8:30, and we out at about 5, and we closing up and we locking up.
So there'd be no access in non-operating hours? No. Okay.
I'm sorry. So you're limited, your business model is leasing trailers.
Correct.
You're limiting it only to normal business hours of operation.
Between 9 and 5.
Okay.
Leasing.
Are you committing to no overnight persons on the lot?
No, we don't need to. No, because that's what's going to be a problem.
Let me apologize to you. You're coming at me with a whole new business model that I've never heard of before. So I think it's very different than I think what my original understanding of this was. So I'm very confused, and I think maybe a lot of these people here might be too.
Right.
Because it's very different than I think what we were informed that this was. And so I apologize for asking questions.
No, you're fine.
I'm trying to understand what business you're actually doing. Very different than what I
Right, because like I said, because we have talked about it, but like I say, our main goal is starting out, and the other stuff, like I said, that stuff will come on with due time, in like years.
What made you select this site?
Hey, it's a great property. Like it's perfect for what we're trying to do, and then there's so many other truck companies around. That'd be perfect for us to make that happen. As far as I said, we different from the other companies of what we're doing. So that can make us go with that situation. We wanted to do it that way.
I apologize for interrupting.
No, it's all right. I was at the end of my questions. So, Mr. Blankenship, do you have anything else?
No, sir. I think still trying to understand a little bit. What conversations have you had with members of the community?
I really have had too many conversations with them. To be honest,
a new business within this community, you hadn't had conversations with any of your neighbors or anybody beside it?
Actually, I went out there. I talked with one guy. That was the installation guy that's next door to it. I had conversations with him about it. And like I say, when me and him talked about it, and I told him what was the plan of what we were trying to do, he was fine with it. He said he was fine with it.
How would you respond to all these people that showed up that aren't fine with that?
My main thing is we not coming in and not trying to disrespect our area. We just a company, Crumbs Leasing, that's just trying to, make a living and do what we have to do and use that land to get us, somewhere to park our trailers and stuff like that. We don't want to come in and be no disrespectful, none of that. If y'all feel some type of way, we can, that we need to talk or anything. If we get the property, we can have those type of kind of talks and those communications with each other. We don't have to be against each other or nothing like that.
Okay. Hang on. So this is I know this is my meeting, and y'all talk to me and the commissioners. Okay. So respectfully, of course. So I appreciate you answering the questions.
Yes, sir.
And we've had our 15 minutes. I think we're ready to have some discussions and make a decision.
All right. I appreciate y'all.
I will give you one question, so make it a good one.
Okay. I'm not sure if he's the owner or if he's being hired by another company. But if that's just their plan now, what's going to ensure it's not more tomorrow or next month or 10 years? 10 years, I plan to still be there, buddy.
Hey, I want you to be.
Okay.
I want you to be.
All right. Your question is he the owner or is he a representative for somebody else? Correct? All right. I'll get that answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I'm not the owner, but I'm like the manager.
Who's the owner?
Eric Bledsoe.
Is he with you today?
No, sir. No,
Okay.
sir.
So you had another representative
He's
with
from,
you?
but excuse me, I mean to cut you off.
Yes.
But he's from Birmingham. He's a former NBA basketball player. So, yes,
When you
sir.
say the owner, is this his primary business, or is he
Yep, yes.
controlling it, or
Yes.
what's happening here?
Yeah, he wants to be his primary business. He want to, he want to be all into it.
Partner with him, or you just manage?
I'm managing. Yeah.
Do you have any other partners?
No, sir. Nobody besides his wife and stuff like that. That's it. And so, we're trying to grow. We're growing. We're growing. That's the main thing.
Okay. I know, I recognize you in the back. I just gave one more question. We closed the opposition. All right. I promise, if anybody asks a question after her, you're going to have to leave, okay? No, you got to come on up to the podium, name and address, the whole enchilada. My commissioners are going to kill me after this for asking more questions.
Come on through.
Thank you.
Probably some later.
My name is Christy Duke. I live on 2428 Pawnee Village Road. My question is, are they going to build those trailers on site, or is there going to be a truck driving them in there and a truck driving them out?
Okay, I'll get to answer your question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Wood, tell me about your trailers. Are you building them there, or are you bringing them in and out?
No, sir. We purchased a trailer, and they bring them to us, drop them off, and we go from there. And then we lease them out, like I say. Then the trucks, whoever we talk with or who needs a trailer, they come to us, they pick up their trailer, and they leave out.
Okay.
That's going to be the whole plan.
So I'm going to make one final question, and then I'll see if we're ready. So the issue about the roads, you've heard discussed a lot about if you were coming out of the proposed property and turn left, you're going into the residential areas.
Yes, that's going.
So do you have any proposed ideas on how to prevent your clients from taking that route, leaving your property?
Our main thing is we go talk with them. We will let them know, once you leave here, don't go. We had situations with and we got to respect their privacy and their roads and stuff down the side. When you're leaving out and you're going to the left, don't go to the left, go to the right and go over the tracks to leave out. Anyway, that would be the best way to go anyway, because the way of going, like going on the tracks and then riding down, just that Tarrant Road and stuff like that, the main parkway, that'd be the best way to go, I think, possibly anyway. So that's that's gonna be the plan, especially after hearing what they are saying and trying to respect their wishes and stuff like that.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Wood, for answering all our questions today.
Yes,
I know it was a
I
grilling.
appreciate y'all too, because I had a lot.
Okay, so I'm going to close the public hearing. Y'all can sit down, and we're going to have a discussion here, just the commission. So just to be clear, we're having a discussion. You can raise your hands, but I'm not going to recognize you. No more questions from anybody, okay? I'll let everybody have their say. I think we've... Okay.
Trying to close it.
All right, so I'm going to reopen it for this one since it's one of our commissioners. So, okay, well, hang on. Let me take. So, Mr. Jett, would you come back to the podium for one last round? Y'all are killing me. There's officers here that.
Yes, sir. It would be probably 30 feet wide, probably to accommodate, just to make sure that we would have the ability to stay on the road and
Okay, that was the one question. So now I have a question for the road engineer here. So where were you headed with your question? No, you can, not you. You can sit down, sir.
Can I add to that real quick? It'll be 30 feet in the necessary. We'll run an audit turn on it and to make sure if it can narrow down to be 24 feet wide. It may not be 30 the entire way.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Mr. Cush, where were you headed with your question?
To show that their driveway would be wider than their.
Okay. Well, I didn't think that's where you were headed, but yes. Okay. All right. We're done. So public hearing's closed officially. No more reopening. So we can have discussion among the commissioners. Is there any open discussion? All right. Hearing none, may I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend denial of Z 24001A due to it only having a 9-foot lanes and because of danger to health and welfare to the public.
All right. I have a motion for denial. Please, hold up. We are not done. So we have a motion for denial with the reasons stated by Commissioner Strain. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
All right, I have a motion, a second. Just to be clear before we vote, if you vote in favor, you're voting, if you vote aye, you're voting for denial. If you vote nay, you're voting against denial. So let's call the roll. Aye.
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 She voted aye.
Aye.
All right, so motion passes to recommend denial 10-1. Thank you, everyone. And just so you know what happens next, so it's the recommendation to the county commission. So the county commission will hear this case again, and they will make the final decision. I'll give y'all a minute if y'all like to exit. If y'all want to have a nice talk, would you ease away from the door a little bit so we can conduct the rest of our hearing? Thank you.
Clear on that, clear.
Well, he said 6 to 12 months.
50 of them, coming back. And overlapping, you know, still be a lot of traffic.
It would be.
They need to refine their equipment.
Still make it out by 3.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the next case. I'll remind everybody in the lobby if you'd move away from the doors, please. Thank you. Yes. We're going to take a 5-minute break for the commissioners. We're going to do a 5-minute break and come right back.
All right, so it's 2:23. Be back at 2:28.
Yep, 2:28.
2:28.
We're taking a 5-minute break too.
2:28.
Mr. Blankenship. I'm just saying, I'm listening, and I'm thinking in my head here while we're talking. I always think. And answer is the way I've always been told. I was not going to do it. The deputy director asked me to do it this way. I had something like that. I made the last.
Before we move on, if I may, I just wanted to indicate in the previous case, we just want to make sure that when we make a decision, we're not making a decision that represents a taking, because otherwise the government would have to compensate this applicant for no use, being able to have no use on this property. I would suggest, because you'll have the comprehensive plan update coming to you.
Turn the mic on.
Direct the consultants to do an analysis in order to determine what the highest and best use of this property is. Again, it's industrial on both sides, east, west, and south. And so although it may not be appropriate for this particular industrial use, it may be appropriate for another industrial use. So I would that would be my recommendation for you long term, to advise perhaps to direct or have the consultants consider looking at the highest and best use for this property. Again,
Okay,
if not
so-
for this industrial use, for other industrial uses.
All right, so thank you for the recommendation. So I would ask that if staff would put it on the agenda for our next pre-meeting to discuss that and what the next actions are, and we'll bring it up as business at the next hearing. Sound good?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. All right. You can go ahead and proceed with zoning case
All right.
9.
Can you hear me? I don't talk very loud.
I think we can hear you.
Again. Okay. So next case, Mr. Chairman, as you mentioned, is Z2409. And this is a rezoning request to rezone from A1 agricultural to RG single family to allow a 59-unit residential subdivision at the location 4953 Eastern Valley Road in the McCalla area. The property is within Census Tract 142.07, Block Group 3. Wait. Yes, okay, I'm sorry. And Eastern Valley Road connects I-459 to McCalla. The total population within this census tract and block group is 2,476 persons. Also, the nearest AADT, or annual average daily traffic count, that we found was at the intersection of GNH and Eastern Valley Road, which there was a traffic count of 9,832 traffic counts at this location near the site. Eastern Valley Road is a paved 2-lane minor arterial road with an annual average, okay, I already mentioned that, traffic count of 9,832. And again, it connects I-459 to McCalla. So level of service, this road presently has a level of service of 9,829 traffic counts. With the projected 59-unit residential subdivision, there is estimated to be 10,405 potential traffic counts with the addition of this new use. This road would not fail capacity-wise unless the traffic count exceeded 22,400 traffic counts. So the county's future land use plan identifies this property for G4 infill growth and P4 general urban zone. The proposed use is consistent with this designation. The existing land use map shows you that the property is presently vacant and undeveloped. And so the aerial map, what you have here is contiguous to this site. There is Cheshire Park subdivision in the northwest corner. There's Carroll Cove subdivision to the west and also to the southwest. And across Eastern Valley Road to the east is the Baptist Church of McAdory. And in the northeast corner, you have McAdory Middle School. The zoning map designates this property as agricultural, obviously, and the applicant is proposing 5 dwelling units per acre in terms of density. Well, the existing Cheshire Park has a density of 4 dwelling units per acre, and Carroll Cove has a density of 1.96 dwelling units per acre. The surrounding A1 has a density of 1 dwelling unit per acre. The applicant's conceptual site development plan shows you the 59 residential units on 4,000 square foot lots He's proposing 2 points of ingress and egress onto Eastern Valley Road. However, the southern point of ingress and egress would be for fire service use only. He's proposing 1 stormwater detention pond, and buffers for this proposal are not required because it's contiguous to agricultural and other residential uses. Staff recommendation, summary recommendation is as follows. The development proposal is an upzoning. The site is within the Shades Creek watershed area. Presently, again, the site is vacant and undeveloped. 59 units are proposed on 12.2 acres. Without going through a lot of what's already been mentioned, the development proposal is found to be in character with general surrounding residential, civic, and institutional uses. It's also consistent with the county's long-range future land use plan. Mr. Chairman, staff is recommending approval for this rezoning. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brown. Is the representative or applicant here? Okay, all right, thank you. Would you like to add anything to Mr. Brown's presentation? Okay. I will mention that we do have a letter with the package today from Carroll Cove Community Homeowners Association that all the commissioners have reviewed. So, is there anybody in opposition to this case? All right. Y'all seen how this works, so I don't have to tell you, right? Y'all come up. We've got 15 minutes, first person, name, address, and keep going.
Good evening, Chairman, Board members.
Our mic is not working well, so would you talk up?
My name is James Hansberry. I'm the HOA president of Carroll Cove Community. I'm here representing the members and the board. My address is 6414 Cove Lane, McCalla, Alabama, 35111. So I did email the opposition letter in. Some of the members, first I'd like to say this, some of the members got notice, but the entire community did not get notice about this zoning. I just found out about it last week. So based on that, we're not totally prepared, but if we have to present our case, we will. I would like to get legal representation for this to speak for us. But if, we need to go ahead on with the hearing today,
we will be proceeding. So
okay.
The notifications went out. Is it, Michael, what's the?
They go out 2 weeks in advance to everyone within 550 feet of the property.
Okay.
Page 7 of your staff report, the property was also posted with the sign.
Yes, so it was posted with a sign and it went out to properties within 550 feet. So 2 weeks in advance. So I'm not sure where you fall in that.
I'm not within that 550
Okay,
feet.
so luckily you got a homeowners association and y'all talk and figure it out. So
okay, well, thanks for the education. Okay, so is my letter in here or do I need to read from this? Okay, the first thing I want to speak about is the impact on the property values. The developer, I guess, is proposing 4,000 square feet per lot. Our lot is 11,000 per square feet. So if you do a valuation of $150 per square feet per bill, that would put these property values at $225,000. Okay, our property values on the last bill average about $475. We just finished the third edition of Carroll Cove, and probably the lowest value in that neighborhood, our neighborhood, is probably right now it's about $375, if that, it might be higher. So definitely this would impact the property values moving forward. We would like to see growth. If the lots were maybe 11,000 or 15,000 square feet, that'll help the comps whenever we decide to get an appraisal or whatever we decide to do. But I'm going to go ahead and read from this. The introduction of smaller homes into our neighborhoods could potentially lower property values for existing homeowners. The characters and appeal of our communities are often tied to the size and quality of the homes within it. The presence of smaller homes may lead to a perception of decreased desirability, affecting the market value of surrounding properties. Number 2, strain on infrastructure. Our neighborhood infrastructure, including roads, utilities, public service, may not adequately equip to support an influx of additional residents from the proposed development. Increased traffic congestion, parking issue, and strain on the public service such as schools, emergency response could negatively impact the quality of life for current residents. And it's that status and neighborhood characters. This is number 3. The introduction of smaller homes may align with the aesthetic and agricultural character of our neighborhoods. Many residents choose to live here because of the existing ambience and charm, which could be comprised by the addition of homes that do not fit the established styles or size standards. Number 4, density and overcrowding concerns. Introducing a higher density of housing units with smaller homes could lead to overcrowding issues within our neighborhood. This may result in a loss of privacy, increased noise level, and a sense of overcrowding that distracts from the peaceful, tranquil atmosphere that residents currently enjoy. Number 5, preservation of green spaces. Our neighborhood values its green spaces, parks, and natural areas, and contributes to the overall quality of life for residents. The proposed development may encroach upon or eliminate these green spaces, diminishing the environmental and recreational amenities that make our neighborhood unique. In conclusion, we urge the county board to carefully consider the concerns of the neighborhood and reject the proposed new residential development of smaller homes. Instead, we encourage alternative development proposals that respects the character, infrastructure, and quality of life in our community. Thank you for wait. Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say we do have some more in the House for like to speak as far as
Okay.
opposing.
Well, you're allowed time, so you've been going about 5 minutes, so we got about 10 minutes. So,
Okay, so I'll yield to the next
but
person.
y'all don't have to go 15 minutes if you don't want to.
Okay.
Okay.
Could everybody stand as part of the Carroll Cole community?
And okay.
Okay. Could y'all come
And
up?
if y'all have something you to add, you're welcome to come up and add it. Repeating it's not necessary. We have it printed out in front of us. So,
all right, James Langston, 4975 Eastern Valley Road. I live right up on this property, the 11 acres right beside it. We're in between 3 school systems. I mean, the elementary, middle school, high school. You cannot get out of the road on the Eastern Valley if anybody lives around there, around 7:20 in the morning till 8. Something needs to be done about the roads and the traffic before any more homes get added to this area. I mean, I recognized the little counter that counts the cars across the road at G&H about a year or 2 ago, but recently there was another one that was done. I'd like to see that because it's got to be more than what they're saying. So, but yeah, it's a mess out on that Eastern Valley Road. It's right there where two lanes go into one, coming off of exit 1, and then turning into 2 lanes. And this is right there. It would be the second house on the right from where the houses start after that middle school. So, and that's our main, complaint about adding more neighborhoods to the area.
okay. Thank you, Mr. Langston.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Tammy Oglesby at 6314 Cove Lane. I live in the Carroll Cove community, and my house is going to be right back there where that pond is. So that's where my house is. So when I wake up every morning, I will look out from my back deck and see development, housing. Right now, I currently see trees. It is peaceful. It is quiet. We have had issues before with drainage with the previous developer, and we're in the process of working through those. It has been a long process. I would rather not go through it again. As a matter of fact, don't want to go through it again. And I want to make sure that the city engineers will make certain that this will not become a problem. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Hi. Excuse my appearance. My name is Jasmine Tinker. I live on 6152 Woodbrook Lane in Carroll Cove. And just to not repeat what they said, but one of my main concerns was the traffic coming in and out, going to our neighborhood, coming out, and adding a new subdivision would not help. Also, just to bring up some people who aren't able to be here, but there have been concerns with if the subdivision is built as close as it is to our neighborhood, there have already been issues with, teens and children just coming in and out through that subdivision, enough as it is. So I know some of the residents feel like it'll just cause more issues. And honestly, more of those smaller houses aren't needed. So that's all.
Thank you.
My name's Willard Langston. I live right next door to where these houses are going to be built. I got a 10-acre garden farm, and I got kids coming all into the place now from the houses behind me. Now we're going to put another 50 or 60 houses right beside me, which is, I got nothing against kids, but they need to have some place for them to go or to play, and they're not going to be anywhere for them other than their 10-foot yard in front of their house. There's just too many houses they're trying to build on one small section of land. The lifestyle of these people is not going to be very good. I got nothing against Jason and him promoting this place, but I think they need to cut down on greatly on the number of houses they're going to put on that lot, because we all got to live with it no matter what. And I would prefer that they put some kind of stationary fence between my property and theirs all the way down, the whole length. And it should be some kind of quality where it'll last more than 10 years and then be completely rotted down, like a lot of these builders are doing. They just put a cheap fence up and 10 years it looks like crap, you know. So anyway, I got nothing against Mr. Jason, and I hope they do the right thing. So anyway, that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Mr. Langston, we need your address for the record.
Sir?
Your address for the record.
4975.
Eastern Valley?
And we can't get out of our driveway now. I don't know what we're going to do with another 100 cars coming out every morning. But anyway.
I apologize, I forgot to add. The pump, I had a concern about also in the pond. How much noise is it going to make? You know, what's going to happen if it goes down? What its purpose? How long is it going to take to get fixed? Things of that nature. And currently, living where I do, the water, when it builds up, there's a lot of rainwater. And so I'm really concerned about that diversion and the noise and the aesthetics, of course, and the overcrowding and trying to jam 59 to 60 homes, 59 homes in that one area. You can't get out on Eastern Valley Road. You have to go the other way to Max Shan, if you can even get out that way. I mean, it's overcrowding, and I realize there's a lot of development in there, and I don't want to stand in the way of progress either, but I do want to make sure that the right thing is done and things are done the correct way. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have a? Yep. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you close out for the group. Okay.
The overhead shot of the property by the school, where it shows that light, where it shows that traffic. Okay, that intersection where the traffic light is. Yeah. No, that's the wrong one. That's McAction. The one before that, I believe. Okay, what I want to speak on, right? I live in Carroll Cove. I go to therapy. It's right past where this property is, and I leave out about 7:30. It takes me 20 minutes to go less than a half a mile to my therapy session. Traffic is bagged up past the church every morning that I pull out my driveway. Now, this property is located right there where traffic be bagged up at. So look like I don't see any proposed type of signals, anything like that. But an uncontrolled intersection, traffic trying to get in and out where it's traffic backed up on that right lane going out, that's a problem. That's a real problem now. If it takes me 20 minutes to go 3/4 of a mile, that tells you we have a problem already. I heard the figures about the traffic. I don't know where that comes from. That's why I want to get more prepared for this. But I think that conflicts with what reality is. So I would like for you guys to please consider that. If you can't right now, give us a chance to present our case again.
Okay.
That's all I have, Mr.
Thank you all for your comments. Appreciate it. So I'd like the applicant or representative come up and give you a chance to address some of the questions and concerns from the opposition. I bet you know what we need first, right?
Got it. Been long enough today, I think. Got it. So my name's Jason Wilson. I'm at 508 Mineral Trace in Hoover, Alabama, 35244.
Thank you. I'll let you, if you want to take them ad hoc.
Sure.
And,
Yeah,
and-
no, definitely. And I've met a few of these residents over the last couple months since looking at this property there in McCalla. Beautiful part of town. We've certainly come to love it. One thing I wanted to address, though, I mean, we know we have a lot of economy coming out there to McCalla, right? With UAB West, we've got Amazon and Smucker's facilities, so over 2,000 jobs coming by the end of this year. So we know there's a demand, for housing in that area and also affordable housing. Now, that said, I heard some numbers earlier around square footage. None of our houses would go for 150 a square foot, just so everyone knows. That's lower than any would be built or sold for. So values of these houses would be at least $190 to $200 a square foot at minimum, but still offer affordable housing.
So that gets us to a sales price of what?
Sir? Well, so these houses will be 1,500 to 1,800 square feet, so back to that garden home size to allow people to more entry level and the people working at these facilities there locally. So that gets us to around $285 to $350 price point.
Okay.
And again, for a smaller home, it's not necessarily compared to a 3,000 square foot home in an existing neighborhood. And also, one of the bigger concerns I heard, though, was about the traffic, right? And we know the traffic, and I've been out there as well. I heard the numbers are currently around 9,000, could get over to 10,000, once the subdivision's there, but not at max capacity of 22,000 is what I'm hearing. But we will have traffic study done as a result of this rezoning effort, and whatever the recommendations are, we'll certainly comply with.
And just to expand on that, with the traffic study, if it comes in and says you need to make modifications, that would be like turn lanes and acceleration, deceleration lanes.
That's it. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see, obviously coming off the interstate exit 1, as I mentioned earlier, there would likely be a need for a deceleration lane coming into that subdivision and that development. But yeah, I mean, those are a lot of the concerns I heard just kind of listening to the group here. I definitely did try to get out and address as many of the neighbors and residents that were inside that 550 as I could. And obviously, I didn't catch everyone in the Carroll Cove subdivision, but I was back there earlier this week again just to see if there were any concerns that we could talk through. Utilities, I heard a concern about utilities that Mr. Hadberry mentioned. The sanitary sewer, at least, will not be an issue for the Carroll Cove subdivision, as we won't have access. We did conclude that. We will not be able to run sanitary back there. Style of house, these will be in keeping with modern design. So these will be something that is very aesthetically pleasing, that will bring value to the community as well. And as far as density, I can't see any density impacts to Carroll Cove from the residents of this neighborhood as well, as just in terms of access, of how you have to access Carroll Cove. Just trying to make sure I've addressed a lot of the ones that I heard. The pond, I heard a concern about that. We'll have some vegetation back there in between the Carroll Cove subdivision and the 3 or 4 houses that are adjacent to this property. So there'll be some arborvitaes or some type of lush vegetation that will provide some visual boundary there for that. I think I hit the highlights, unless I may have missed some. I'm sorry, I'm trying to take notes quickly as we were going through those. But again, we're talking about trying to offer some affordable housing for we know a growing economy in McCalla that people can get into with inflation, interest rates, incomes being where they are. I mean, we're trying to offer something for those people too.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Don't leave yet. I'm going to give the commissioners some chance to grill you if they want to. So any questions from the commissioners? Okay, please go ahead.
Do you consider a lesser number of houses in this subdivision, if that's what it comes to when you build it? We've had this before, and it seems that, I know it's in compliance with what's going on around the area and stuff. I live in McCalla.
Understood.
Been there for 60-plus years. And, I'm not opposed to any kind of development whatsoever, but I think there needs to be a limit on maybe the size houses and the size lots in there. And I don't know, that's something that you may consider if it comes to that.
Yes, sir.
Or if you would consider something like that.
Certainly. Yes. Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, we try to take, all the factors and the variables into play, you know what I mean, and offer that proposal. But, yeah, certainly something we'd love to consider.
Mr. Chairman, I got one question. There was a concern about the pump there. You could explain what that pump is, what it would do, and any protections there that you have for it.
Yeah, and I understood she was referring to the detention pond pump? So what pump would we? I'm sorry, let the engineer speak to the pond.
John Jett, 5800 Feldspar Way, Hoover, Alabama, 35244. The pump that was drawn on the site would be a pump. It's a pump station for sanitary sewer. It has not been determined at this time if that's going to be the method in which we get sewer out. We're still working with Jefferson County. We have two options, but one of them is going to be the method. It's either that or low pressure. So we're still evaluating that with Jefferson County. We're actually waiting on the director's response.
Did that answer your question?
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay. You might as well hang up here for a minute till we get through. So, Commissioner O'Neill.
Yeah. Have you met with the neighboring associations or people who are involved with this who may be affected by this? Have you all met? Because I understand that someone hadn't gotten the information.
Yes, ma'am. Yep. So several of these I mentioned earlier I have met with personally a couple times. I think the gentleman that said he had not received the information was outside the 550 border there that we did not meet with. Or they didn't receive a letter either, apparently, because they were outside the 550 perimeter.
Okay.
Does that answer the
I'll see
question?
y'all raise your hands, but I'm letting them. We're going to finish talking to them. Okay.
Sorry. Yep.
So, any more questions from the commissioners?
It seems to me that they're requesting that you scale down your building, and it seems to me that you could meet with them to determine what can be done to get rid of some of the questions or problems or concerns that they have.
Yeah, love to meet. Like I said, we went out there and did try to knock on doors. Probably not the most efficient or effective route, but yeah, we'd love to have additional meetings and whatever we can do to appease that.
So piggybacking off Commissioner O'Neill's thing, because what I hear is you're, compared to some cases we hear, y'all are not that far off. They basically saying a better quality house or lesser houses or a better quality house. I mean, would you be opposed to carrying this over to allow you time to meet with the Carroll Cove Association and the neighborhood association to see specifically what they want and how that fits in with your market plan, your market strategy?
Again, I want what's best for the community. I mean, that really is, we're not just paying that lip service. I mean, so whatever it takes. I mean, we really want to improve the communities that we live and work in, including building this community, whatever that entails.
So if you'd like to do that, you need to make a request to do that. So, but.
So I guess my question is, again, I'm a little bit new to this particular part of the process, but just trying to understand why we could not move forward with this and still have the meeting in parallel.
You can do that.
Okay, that'd be my
question. But you understand that regardless of what this commission decides, you still have to go before the county commission. So these same people who are opposed to you now will show up and probably be more organized at the county commission.
But again, I have full intent to meet with everyone that has any concern. I mean, that's my opinion anyway. So I would prefer to move forward.
Okay, that's fine.
Can we schedule that meeting with the homeowner association now, or is that something that needs to be done outside of this meeting?
All right. So this is what Commissioner Sigler was getting at. You can ask that we carry the case over to give you an opportunity to meet with them and come back with a different, better, more agreeable plan to everyone, or you can proceed ahead today and we can make a decision on the plan you presented, and then you guys can meet and address it at the county commission level if you want to.
Okay. Or outside of this meeting in particular, if we chose option B to go ahead and proceed.
Yes.
Okay. That would be, I think our preference if everybody's acceptable with that.
Okay.
We'd like to move forward, but I definitely want to address any concerns that they have. Any ones.
All right. So, I've seen your hands. Let me get finished going through with them, and then we'll talk about it, okay? So I have a couple of questions for you. So one, you didn't present us with any elevation or architectural drawings in your application.
Okay.
So I have a proposal. I would like to make sure that it's consistent with the architecture in the area.
Sure.
So would you be agreeable to a condition to the rezoning that your architecture be consistent with architecture of the garden homes in the surrounding areas like Carroll Cove and Cheshire Park?
100%. Yes,
Okay.
sir. We want that.
Okay. And I did hear one of the opposition mention about some fencing on on the line against his property.
Mm-hmm.
Is he to the south of your property? I didn't get a chance to ask.
Directly to the west, I believe. Where we at?
Or from the
southwest, right there.
Okay. Thoughts on that?
Yes, sir. I think what Mr. Butch was wanting and alluded to was something more substantial than a 10-year fence. I think referring more to a wall out of some type of stone type material. And I think we definitely want to put something through there that offers privacy. And if there's an option or ability to turn that over to the HOA once the subdivision is developed, I think that's probably the best play. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
All right. And you'd be okay with the condition for that?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. All right. Any other questions from the commissioners for the applicant? All right. So opposition, y'all had a chance. I've given people a couple more chances, so I'm going to just throw caution to the wind. 2 people, 1 question each.
I'm sorry, waiting on me.
They're coordinating their
Oh,
questions
I'm sorry.
apparently. So.
Okay.
Okay, y'all, let's go.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Still taking notes, sir.
Okay, we were about to ask the same question, so can I ask both questions since I had one and she had one?
Sure, 1 each. That's it. That's the rule.
So we have a problem with drainage. You know those big Jefferson County trucks, pumpers that come out every time it rains, have to pump water. I don't know if they're pumping it in our subdivision or pumping it out. But we have 3 trucks that come out there every time it rains. They pop the sewage thing over and put those long tubes down there. So that's a problem. I don't know the details of it.
What's your question?
I just want to put this out right now, and I would like to discuss that. I thought she was going to bring it up because she got a drainage problem over there on her property. So I'd just like to mention that and address that. The next thing is the valuation that he presented at $190 a square feet. That would make this a $20 million investment, profit for him, okay, if you do 59 houses like that. So would y'all please keep that in mind? Look like these guys want to come in here and just destroy our community, make life difficult for us on a $20 million profit. Okay, if they can do square footage, maybe 15,000 square feet per house. I know how much the property sold for $396 because I did a bid on it. And my valuation for building 10 houses on that property was $150 a square feet when it first came on board. So I just like to say that. That's all I have.
So that was 2 things. No, I said 1 question per person. I thought you were doing both questions. Yeah, you did.
I'll just say it's a real quick, and I think he can probably.
Go.
Something I didn't understand.
Sorry, I'm tired. It's been a long day. Come up and.
Okay, all right.
The pump station was for a sanitary sewer. So what is the pond for?
Okay, thank you. Well, so answer hers first.
It's for a sanitary sewer pump station.
And tell her what it does.
It pumps the sewage from each house back to Jefferson County Environmental Services Department, Maine.
Because you don't have that, it doesn't drain downhill.
That's right, yes.
So the pond itself,
The pond is stormwater management. A pump station is for the sewage. So two totally different things.
They're two separate things. Okay.
And I did just want to elaborate there that, I've heard a couple of drainage issue concerns with Carroll Cove. So this land is independent of, in terms of drainage, it has to facilitate all of this drainage independent of Carroll Cove. So it should not contribute to anything that's happening back there with drainage.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about that too. So the county has regulations. I can't quote them, thankfully.
Pre versus post. They can't make the storm drains worse.
Right.
They
Okay.
have to, most of the time it's an improvement to what's out there.
So just out of curiosity, the trucks that they talked about that come in and,
I have a feeling those are sewer trucks. We don't pump stormwater. That's not the way we fix stormwater problems. So I don't think those pump trucks have anything to do with the stormwater. I think that they are more than likely
sanitary sewer.
Sanitary sewer.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate y'all answering the questions. Any other questions for the commissioners? All right. I'm going to close the public hearing and we're going to vote. So, any other discussion before we vote? Or before I ask for a motion? Okay. All right. May I have a motion for our zoning case 24-009? All right, I have a motion and a second.
Second.
I have 2 seconds.
Oh,
So
sorry.
Georgia seconded first.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry, that sounds funny. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, would you call the roll, please? Aye.
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 All right, motion passes 9-2. This is a recommendation, of course. It will be heard again at the county commission. So, as discussed in the hearing, please get together and find an agreeable solution before then, if you can manage that. So, not a requirement, just a suggestion. All right, we're going to move on. Y'all can head out if you want. We're going to move on to our last case today. Our next case is Z240020. Mr. Brown. Yep. Thanks for the feedback. I will talk louder next time.
Okay, yes, sir. So, as you mentioned, this is KZ 24-0020, and the applicant's requesting a rezoning from single-family to agricultural to allow a farm ranch for his livestock. The property is located at 2040 Sattler Town Road in the Bessemer area. The county's long-range future land use plan designates this property as P3G4, and the proposed use is not consistent with this designation. Presently, the site is vacant and undeveloped. This is an aerial of the site, which shows you that the property is vacant and undeveloped. However, there is a residential subdivision to the west of this property, and then there are single-family uses to the north as well as to the east and to the south. This is the county's zoning map. Of course, it shows you the properties presently zoned RG, single-family. And street level, this is what you see from Saddlertown Road at 2040 Saddlertown Road. This is just another aerial of the site. And so the opposition to this proposal says that when they're looking out their back door, this is what they see, and this is the reason for their opposition to this rezoning request. Staff summary and recommendation is as follows, Mr. Chairman. The rezoning request is a down zoning. Presently, again, the site is vacant and undeveloped. Proposed is a 15-acre tract for livestock. The subject property is in Census Tract 143.01, Block Group 1, which has a total population of 1,569 persons. Traffic counts are not provided for Saddlertown Road. Subject property is within the Shades Creek watershed area. The proposed county's comprehensive plan long-range future land use designation for this site as P3 and G4. The proposed use, again, is not consistent with the comp plan. The A1 zone with livestock and a residence is not a permitted use according to the comp plan long-range land use policies. And for this reason, Mr. Chairman, staff is recommending denial, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Is our applicant here? Do you have anything you'd like to add to Mr. Brown's presentation before I call for opposition? Okay, all right, thank you. Anyone here opposed to this zoning case? I know you've seen the drill, so come up, give us your name and address. And
Good afternoon. My name is Alicia Phillips. I am a resident at 3471 Misty Hollow Drive, Bessemer 35022. I've been a resident here at Windsor Park Colonnade, actually, since the fall of 2021. We've noticed maybe about a year or so after where someone started building behind our homes, because my house butts up against his property. And so we noticed someone building what we thought was going to be a house. And so later on, we saw that it was a shed. And then maybe about a year or so in the spring of last year, we actually saw someone putting wire fence up against our property line, pretty much lining the entire backside of Windsor Colonnade to his property. And shortly after, that's when we started seeing baby goats, cows, bulls, whatever else they have back there. And so it's becoming an issue for not only from a safety standpoint, because we have small children, we have small animals from different residents, and so you can't really enjoy the back of your yard fully. These animals have gotten loose into the community. We've actually had one neighbor who actually had to catch a goat and put it up in one of their dog cages until the owner sent someone over to retrieve it and put it back on the farm. And so it's just becoming a nuisance, not only from manure, you have the smell, so when they have that flies that are back there and just constant, I'm not sure if it's a pond or so it was there prior before, but if it was there prior before, but there's a pond somewhere back there to where just standing water, so that constant mosquitoes for one neighbor that they have to constantly fight with. And so we just, it would have been nice if we had this hearing prior before he purchased his land, so therefore he would know to not bring animals to there, but at the same time, here we are. So few residents are here. I'm not sure if they have anything to add to it, but we just strongly suggest that you deny his request.
okay, thank you. Would either of y'all like to come up? If you don't have anything extra to add, that's okay. Is there any other opposition that'd like to come forward? All right. The applicant, would you come up and you want to tell us what's going on and maybe try to address some of the concerns? And name and address, please, before you start.
My name is Juan Del Toro, and I live at 632 Delta Street, Bessemer.
Thank you, Mr. Del Toro.
So the reason my dad, he bought that property was for that, and it is a big piece of property, and he's seen people also nearby there, they have their own animals. And so that's the reason he got it, and he put his animals thinking that he can. And then we get that letter that says that we couldn't. So he says that he should have his animals there because that they're not, I mean, other than them seeing them back there, but they're completely fenced in. And so that goat that was out, it was a little baby. So they caught it, and but we got rid of them. We got rid of a bunch of animals, so we just have a few.
Okay. You come up and give us your name and address?
His name is also Juan Del Toro.
Okay.
And also, well, he was telling me that my grandma, she is 95 years old, and we just brought her from Mexico, and her dream was to also have a piece of land with animals on it, and my dad, he couldn't get that in Mexico because, I mean, it's tough to make money out there and stuff. So my dad just recently brought her from Mexico, and he bought that piece of land because he's, my grandma, his dad left them when before he was even born. And so my grandma was a mom and a dad to him, and she had to do that type of stuff in Mexico. So she grew up dealing with animals and stuff, so that's what she loves. And my dad wanted to get that for my grandma, and the only place where he could bring that to her is here because this is where my dad's basically lived almost all his life here after he left Mexico, and he can't go back. And all they do there is just take care of them, and they milk the cows in the morning, and that's what my grandma enjoys doing. And yeah, so that's also another reason why he has that land.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Blankenship?
Very quick, Mr. Del Toro. You understand that there are laws here in the state of Alabama that restrict how you can use your land. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand that what you're doing is not in accordance to those laws. You understand that we're not trying to make a judgment against you or your family here. We're simply trying to implement those laws the same way as anyone else would.
Yeah.
So this property that he bought has a zoning restriction that says it's only for a house to be built, not for livestock. There are other properties that have the ability to put livestock on it, that have that designation. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking to you. I'm not trying to. I'm guessing your father speaks limited English.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm trying to be respectful to everyone.
Yeah.
So you understand the quandary. Part of this is when people buy a house in certain areas, they expect to be surrounded by other houses, not livestock. So while your family has the freedom to buy a property in which you can have livestock, and certainly I would encourage that, you understand that this property doesn't currently have that.
Yeah, and well, also before we did that, we had to clean up the land because basically it looked like a landfill when we got it. So all we did was clean it up, and
Still doesn't affect how this land can be used.
but
So if y'all wanted to build a house on it, that would be okay. You can't keep animals on it.
yeah,
Same for the surrounding area. Like, it's not like we're picking on you here.
mm-hmm.
There's no property that touches your property that has livestock on it.
He said that it's a 15-acre land, and he thought that he could, and he said that that's a lot of yard to maintain, and all he did was
I
put.
would advise him to consult an attorney prior to purchasing any property.
Dice que deberías de agarrar que un abogado antes de comprar terreno.
I understand where he's coming from,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't change the fact that we are where we are.
He said because he's seen people people with 5 acres or less.
And they're probably zoned in a place that allows that.
A lo mejor ellos están en lugares que sí pueden. But there's people that are closer, like to main roads, like on Eastern Valley.
Again, it's based on how their land is situated, not how their land is situated. Your land is completely surrounded by the zoning. Your land is included in that. My heart goes out to you, but I just don't, that's what it is. So, Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions. I do have a motion whenever we're ready.
Okay, any other questions from any of the commissioners? All right. All right, Mr. DeToro, thank you for answering our questions. This is a hard case to consider. And, but thank you. We're going to decide now, okay? All right, I'm going to close the public hearing. Any discussion from the commissioners before we entertain a motion?
Sir.
All right. Commissioner Blankenship, did you want to make the motion?
Yes, sir. I would like to motion that in case Z-24-0020, we deny the recommendation.
Second.
All right. Can we discuss real quick before we vote, amending that to have a basis for it?
My basis is it's completely surrounded, it's zoned residential, it's completely surrounded by residential properties, and it's not consistent in any way, shape, or form with anything around it.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So you amend your motion with that basis?
Sure.
And your
My motion states that I recommend denial because it's not consistent with any other zoning within the area or current use.
I second the amended motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, so the motion is to recommend, well, the approval is to, let me get this right. The motion to deny is unanimous, so this will go to the county commission with the recommendation of denial. So you'll have an opportunity to be heard again at the county commission who makes the final decision on this. So you don't have to, but you can if you want to argue it with the commission. And so, but you can discuss that with the staff who you made the application with if you don't want to proceed or not, okay? All right. So that concludes our meeting today. We're adjourned.
Good job, Mr. Chairman. Good job, Mr. Chairman. You with us here. Pushing the day.